because it's elimination time. Is it going to be Virtus Pro? Is it going to be no Diggity? Who is going to move forward and who's going to go home? Let's find out with our commentators, Draskell and ODPixel.
Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the final game of the final series of the day. We've got VP up against No Diggity. What a series it's been so far. Game 2 really was quite something, and here we have it, Game 3, the all-important one. The losing team will be going home. Good news for us, Andy. Either way, we're going home. Either way.
Eventually.
So, yeah, eventually.
Eventually.
So let's see if we get ourselves another kind of close to 60-minute epic, or if one team's going to close this down quickly. I'm liking the drafts, though. This is some funky stuff from both sides. And again, here in Game 3, switching it up a little bit. VP a little bit more so, apart from the fact that they're able to return to this G-Quap. Well, FNG. In a bit of trouble here. The old Iron Shell rundown being given to him by Yapzor and Diggity. They might dig a doing it, and with the power shot, one more slap to the back there with the big old stick. Yapzor finding himself first blood.
That's a double rune as well. Era got the bottom bounty.
I might as well go home now.
GG, double bounty run. Not quite as OP as it used to be, but still good.
It's true. Anyway, let's have a look at the drafts. I mean, they're running this Spectre on the side of Diggity, and whereas VP, they have got a low hard dance on the Sven this time rather than the Juggernaut. Is it a good game for the Sven? And against the Spectre, is this all about just getting yourselves on top and not letting the Spectre catch back up?
It's a good game for the Sven because at any given point, the Sven can always fight the Spectre. There's not ever going to be a problem for him because he's a natural BKB carrier. He does an insane amount of damage, has his own lockdown. The hero is just straight up good against Spectre. However, FNG not having the greatest time here. I think it's more about like the lane pressure coming in from No Diggity that they're going to have a slight advantage. Like, Doom is a pretty greedy hero, but when you have this Earth Spirit Darkseer off lane, like Kezu is going to be more or less free farming. The lane that VP have up here cannot really deal with him, and they also don't have like a guaranteed rotation. Like maybe if No Fear gets a good creep and he like TP's top, maybe with a double stun they could potentially kill the Earth Spirit, but killing the Darkseer is going to be a pretty tall order if there's two heroes here.
I mean, the mid lane as well. Goifer on his Wind Ranger, it's certainly one of his heroes that he's strong on. But is it strong enough to deal with the G-Quap? I imagine both of these heroes are going to find farm in the mid lane, but I mean, the kill potential maybe a little bit more potent for G if he's able to get a jump in and play around the Wind Ranger.
I think it's tough either way.
Yeah.
I don't think any hero is really likely to get a solo kill in this scenario. Okay. I think Wind Ranger can actually win this lane, but it's very dependent on landing your power shots for the harass and the CS, which is it's still kind of difficult to do if the other middle player is prepared for it, which I'm sure G will be.
So I mean, this combination, we're seeing them really go ham on to FNG. The question is it going to be enough to slow down a lower Tarsus progression? Already hit G. Chasing down Goifer. He's going to put the Fairy Fire. It should be enough to keep him alive. But there's another blink in a second. And he's going to try and deny himself hits, but neutral at the same time up top. Yapzor moves in, but this time they move back onto him. He gets the roll off just in time. He will survive. And indeed, Goifer did end up getting that denied to the neutrals there, that camp. So it's a nice bit of play there from Goifer just to ensure that G doesn't get that blood onto his hands.
And just not giving away the kills is huge in the early game. Especially since the Doom now is making his rotation towards top, as we kind of talked about already. FNG not going to have the stun mana quite fast enough, but he should be able to alleviate some of the pressure that's being applied. And the nice thing about Doom is that even though he's here, he can still use Devour to farm. It's not like he's necessarily sacrificing himself to do this. It's more just idly applying that pressure to Yapzor and Kezu to say, no, you can't just bully our Sven all the time.
No. Exactly what they need to keep doing. I mean, let's talk about the Tide pick for VP as well. I mean, not something that we've seen them do too frequently, but nonetheless feeling that that's the pick. I mean, is it just what the synergy here with the Sven allowing him to get himself into the fights and follow through on for good Ravage? Or, I mean, why the Tide?
I think it's one of those things where you can siege with VP's lineup. You know, Doom eats a Wolf Creep or something. You go for like an Arcane Mech build perhaps, or the Tide can do that, but you have this lineup where you can force No Diggity to make the distinction of, do you want to try to split push against us? Because really your best pushing utilities are Focus Fire, and then you drop the Mass Serpent Wards. But we have God's Strength and we have Venjora, so they kind of push at an equal rate in my opinion, and VP have a faster cooldown on the amount of pressure that they can apply. So I think all in all, it's just when you have a team that can threaten towers, you don't, you have that big team fight AoE to follow it up. And it also disjoints the combo of the Darkseer and the Earth Spirit, which is very important because last game it kind of crushed them.
And I guess also in terms of the lanes, what you're picking the Tide, you expect to have a good timing against
Oh,
Spectre
yeah,
down there?
absolutely.
Yeah.
Spectre is not the hero against Tide and lane. Like, look at how much farm Yoku has right now. He's 28 in 4 at 4 minutes. The man is quite literally swimming in creeps.
Yeah.
He was actually just swimming.
That's beautiful to see, really.
He's level 5 at 4 minutes. He has arcanes. There is nothing that these heroes are going to do to him.
I mean, to be fair, Terry's still getting some farm, but it certainly is. I mean, again, Yoku.
He knows. He's just like, yeah, you cannot do anything.
Oh.
The real question is, yeah, I guess you kind of have to get Ravage at 6 if you have arcanes this early. There's no reason to save the point.
I get stats handy.
No, I mean, some Tides actually go 0-4-4 if they're having a super good lane.
Just continue to crush the lane.
And if they don't think they can get a solo kill, that's the other reason. But we'll see. Yeah, he does get it at 6. Okay. So now the rotation could potentially be, him smoking up top lane, throwing a Ravage out. I don't think you go mid. It's really hard. Or you just decide, I'm having a pretty good time. Oh, okay, Ravage.
All right.
He's dead.
Hey, slam down, beat down. They'll get it. Yep, so with the rotation, trying to do something in reaction.
That was such a weird gank. You know what I mean?
It worked. I mean, literally just enough for No Fear to come down, drop the Infernal Blade.
There's no way you anticipate that. There's no way you think that the Doom is going to come out from the trees with a max range Ravage that hits on you into you dying.
Wow.
Like, that is... How do you anticipate that? That was actually pretty insane, though. Nicely executed there from VP.
Yeah, I mean, looking at the CS at the moment, you can see across the board, this is what it looks like when you win the laning stage.
Yeah, more or less.
I mean, it's down to these rotations. You're looking towards Yapso on his Earth Spirit to make things happen.
It's going to be really... I don't know, man. He is, I guess, level 4.5 at 6 minutes. It's not bad. And the support, Shadow Shaman, is also level 4. So it's not like they're getting massively out-leveled or anything. It's more just the amount of farm that VP are getting out of the lanes is just... It's insane.
A lot of dance as well, doing what we saw Era do in the second game, just getting that good time on the helm so he can start to get those stacks up on the Ancients. I mean, this, if you are, as you said, who are you trying to gank if you are the side of No Diggity? Who do you need to, whose lane do you need to help out the most? And the thing is, it's a Wind Ranger. She's not going to be nearly as active as G potentially is.
Well, I think that if you land the Shackle from Quakefoot, you probably could kill G, because Queen is not, doesn't have the greatest survivability by any means, but he does have the Infuse range out, so he'll be able to tank a little bit more of the magic damage. But I think more than anything, you just want to play greedier with your supports. Like, Yapsor and Sind need 6. That way you can start forcing fights with the Mass Serpent wards, taking tier 1 towers, getting a little bit more breathing room for Era, who has not had the easiest lane of his life. The Sven is pulling ahead of him now. But yeah, I think you actually just want to prioritize not necessarily getting kills, but more or less just hitting 6 on those supports as fast as you can. Because that's what matters right now.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Getting the Serpents and suddenly you've got the chance of taking... I mean, just even using them for a kill, at a stage like this, if you're Sin. But he does need to have those couple more levels, and that's the problem at the moment. VP, they're piling on the pressure on bottom.
I actually like this a lot, what No Diggity are doing.
Trying to make at least something happen, get Era involved in a kill, and it will work out. FNG taken down.
So Cinderin might end up dying here, but in all honesty, the amount of experience that he's getting is still like pretty good value for him. Because where else is he going to go, right? Like, he's not going to go gank all the way across the map for a safe lane tower or anything. He just wants 6. So they lose the tower, but he's still getting the EXP.
He certainly is. He certainly is. At the same time as well, Quafer's been given a space, bit of space in mid, and he is catching up to G. He's still keeping pretty much neck and neck with the Queen of Pain.
There was also, he died because of the rotation, right? Like, he did deny himself to the Ancients, but the Doom basically ran him out of the lane. So all that considered, I'd say that Quakefa's doing more than okay given the circumstances.
Absolutely. his lane is kind of going the best out of the three, certainly for Diggity at the moment.
My God, Yoku is gonna have like a
I mean,
10-minute mech arcanes. Like Jesus.
Oh goodness.
64 CS in 9 minutes untied. I think in that lane, like
it's pretty much free farm.
Yeah, it is pretty much free farm. The thing about that lane is you have to kill the Tide between the levels of 1 and 2, because if you don't, and he gets a second point in the Kraken, you're just never going to do enough damage to be able to kill him. So you need to win the lane before the Tide like hits level 3. I mean, and that's very hard to do.
Just looking at the heroes as well, how do you kill him? You got to drop ults on the man, at least 2 at the least.
Divine intervention, maybe. That's how you kill him?
Yeah, with the mech, he is going to be unkillable. And I guess with this build as well, does he go straight for the grease because the Spirit Silence, or do you then go for the blink after the mech?
I think the blink is probably the play.
Okay.
He probably goes like mech, then blink, then Greaves, then maybe pipe or something. I'm not sure. Because pipe is still extremely valuable against No Diggity's lineup, with just having a Darkseer and an Earth Spirit.
And this is nice as well. VP, well, they're not actually going to go for that one. They realize that there's the timing to make a jump rush horn isn't available. Actually, eyes onto Koifa. Can they get him? Shackle, is he going to latch? But still, being a bit tentative. VP a little scared of this one.
Doom's not level 6, so.
Yeah. But there's your mech done on time.
Yeah, I mean, there's level 6 on the Shadow Shaman too. The Tome puts them over the mark. So they'll be able to walk mid and decide if they want to drop those wards or not. Ward actually going to spot out the Tide.
And they're haunting it as well. No messing error. Just making sure he gets himself involved in as many kills as they can, but the mech is there. The question you can actually do is Yoku's thinking about walking back in, looking for a Ravage. We go shout to Kersi. There is a Surge as well. Does he want to Ravage for this one? No. He's going to hold on to it. Doesn't want to burst it for just the 1 kill. At the least, BP not dying, and we're seeing there, they see the Tide, they're like, right, let's go, and they just cannot kill him.
They quickly realize, dear God, he has 1,300 health and a mech, we can't hurt him. That was Magnetize committed as well. Not the hugest cooldown or anything, but just to show how tanky he truly is. All right, I'm not maybe they can get the tower with this, actually.
Does Tide care about the sub? I mean, but yeah, they're just going to focus the tower. They're going to be able to kill the wards. With the fortification, they keep the tower alive.
Yep. It's actually out of deny range. They could have glyphed it a little bit later if they wanted to go for the maximum efficiency play, but I'll probably be able to get it later. Okay, smoke up. Purchase from VP. I guess they have like all of their ultimates up, right? Like Ravage is up, Sonic Wave, they got Doom.
And a lower dance is still fun.
Yeah.
I mean, Arrow's doing the best he can considering the start he's now got the Vanguard. So he himself is going to be a little harder to take down, but at the same time, if you're getting the Ravage kind of into Sonic Wave, having the follow through, he's just dropping the Doom as well. Just the 1 point in dispersion, of course, at this early stage.
You're going to go splat. Like, if VP wants you dead, you're going to die.
And they do look at this movement from VP. They're making a movement straight towards Error. He doesn't have Haunt back up. If they can catch him...
Wow, he is being so greedy. Yeah. Okay, he turns. That's the play.
He needs to get himself the hell out of there.
Nice dead.
It is fairly tanky. Not tanky enough, though. And at the same time, Cinderin... Oh, he's gone! Just...
Not even close. Come on, he was fine.
It was around the place. Yoku's having a great time this game. I don't know what he's had, but he's chilling. He's swimming around and having a bit of fun. YapzOr will.
I mean, I would probably be about that happy if I had his lane too.
Yeah, he found so much and made sure that Diggity found as little as he could force them to.
I mean, we talked a lot about the Tide, but Kezu's also got a pretty ridiculous amount of farm too. Like, he's got his mech arcanes done. All he has to do is pretty much buy them. Buy the buckler and the recipe, of course, and he can send it out. So all the core items on both teams coming up pretty darn fast. I guess the primary concern right now is for No Diggity. The Spectre still needs quite a bit of time. He's died twice.
Look at this down bottom. They've got a Storm Hammer. They get it out just in time, but they might be able to turn this. With the Vacuum Magnetize, it's just not enough damage. They'll Haunt in. They'll get the Hex out to a low hard dance. This is a big pick with a Shackle follow through Cinderin. Having the control to allow them to take down the Sven. That's a big kill.
It's going to be a tower, too. They can just all in the wards, I think. Yep, there we go.
They're going to find a tier 1 in the top end trade. So VP still finding something in return, but yeah, losing a low hard answer on the Sven, that was not the game plan for them.
He thought he had a little bit more time. They didn't have any vision in the woods of No Diggity, so Synderen gets the Hex off, results in an extra kill. And obviously in the trade, even if it was just a tier 1 for a tier 1, the off lane and the Radiant side is just worthless. Tower does jack. Whereas the off lane on Dire at least gets you Roshan. Ooh, nice pick there from G.
G with the
Manages to Sonic Wave Synderen and get him before the TP out.
So then they might find something as well. Swap back onto Kezu and into the Doom. He's a little bit tanky. In fact, he may just be tanky enough. Can they actually get this kill here?
He canceled the Hadouken.
No, he's not going to get it. Yapsa with the body blocks. I mean, yeah, he's fine.
Man, Doom actually does so little damage at level 1.
It's not great. Not great.
Just the regen alone from the items that he has was like keeping him almost at the same HP.
There's a blink now on Tide. I mean, the situations like that aren't going to happen again. You know, if you manage to get yourselves in with a blink Ravage, you're getting the kill. Yoku's also about to hit level 11. So the team fight, it is strong for VP at the same kind of time.
Okay,
Yeah.
this actually from Koikfa is a bit interesting. We haven't talked about it so much, but he is rushing Ags. This is a build that has actually become a little bit outdated. I think mainly because the necessity of having like at least one farming item on the hero like Maelstrom has just become like the flavor of the month again. Because it's like Maelstrom into Blink, and the Maelstrom's also the counter to heroes like Sven or anyone else who has high armor. And then you go into the Blink BKB because you need the BKB this game no matter what. Against Tide Ravage, Queen, and Sven, and even Avenge Stun, without magic immunity, it doesn't matter if you have the health for mags. If you get caught, you are dead. So I'm a little bit... I actually don't know if I can agree with that choice, actually, from Koikfa. I think it's pretty detrimental to go for this type of build. Because it just means it's going to take a longer time for you to have the impact that you need. Just a Blink and a Maelstrom only costs a little bit more than what an Aghanims does. It gives you more initiation potential, which I feel like right now they are lacking. And it also farms better than Aghanims.
VP as well. Yeah, Echo Saber on a lower dance, but it's Diggity looking for the fight. They're going to find Yoku. Can they kill him?
Nice
Blink out
blink.
in time. And they don't get it. They're not going to... In fact, Yoku might want to go back in. Why not? He's got Blink up in 2.
What a freaking boulder smash. Holy moly.
Yeah, absolutely. With that, they're going to be able to disengage. And Era, he is starting to slowly but surely rack up the goals. 1,700. I mean, does he go for the Radiant Soul? Is that what he's looking for here?
I think it's really good still.
Oh, stun out. They need more heroes here, though, VP. They need Joku. He just wasn't quite close enough to get a Blink Ravage. I mean, we're seeing the Tide having an awful lot of farm, being hard to kill, but Yoku's just not been able to find the play to set up for a big team fight.
It's all right, though, because VP are still kind of forcing No Diggity to move around the map. They're going to go for the Roche here. They have the Wolf Creep eaten by the Doom. Just means that No Diggity are once again going to be going for a trade. Aghanims now finished up on Koikfa. They should be able to get this well in time. Okay. Is Yoku's TP enough on its own to force them away? I don't know if it is. Okay, now he's going to run. All right, so they defend the tier 2 and get Roche. That is a huge win for VP.
I just still think that the fact that he's got the Aegis now and G squat, so the next time he can afford to jump in, make sure he's in a position to follow through off the back of a Ravage or such. But No Diggity, they, again in this game, for it really feels like as the series has gone on, No Diggity just reacting much better to the way that VP plays.
Yeah, to a degree, but I still think that their late game is... against Doom and Sven, when you have the Spectre, I think it's really rough.
Never tried to drop the Doom there talking about it, but the silence came through from Yapsor. Actually popping the Magnetize, but I'm not going to do a hell of a lot. As VP will be ready to walk through this. There's a surge onto Yap.
He's out of there.
Yoki's going to have Blink up in a second.
The jukes. The jukes.
Oh,
no, okay, that literally did not work.
Good attempt. Not good enough. This is free for no fit.
I think you actually just run down around that one tree, because you can actually walk to the right of it too. Maybe it would have worked. I don't know. Hard to say.
Koifer up top. Okay, TP'd away. G managed to find a jump onto him after Koifa took the tower, but no cancel on him at the moment to deal with the TPs. It's not pretty. I mean, Yoku is going to have the Greaves, if that's what he wants to go in for next, unless there's something else that he feels the necessary.
He might skip it and go for Pipe, because it's like the better 5v5 item, I think. Like, sure, Greaves are nice because you don't really have to, I don't know, you can't really die to any other damage if you have Greaves. Okay, yeah, he just buys it. But I think Pipe is also a very good choice. Because Pipe just totally negates Magnetize.
That's great against the Spirit.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
And they're given position because of how strong their 5-man is. If they just have that item on top of what they already do, it's just like, we're going to have Crimson soon, because that's the build that No Fear is going for, on top of Greaves, on top of Pipe. They have every single 5-man utility that you could ever want.
And talking about the 5-man, they appreciate this VP, and they are hanging around mid-G. Just going to back up and grab himself the rune. And actually, low odds with the God Strength, no messing. We'll see how heavy they want to go in after getting a tier 2. There's already the pings for Koifa as he's eyeing up Kezu on the top lane. Is he going to go for this one? He's got the Arcane Ring, so there's no reason to not try and burst everything down. If he can get the silence before Kezu gets off a surge, he might have a chance for a solo kill with the Sonic Wave. See how he plays it with Kezu. Okay. Just scaring him off. Doesn't want to try for it.
I mean, even if he did catch him, it's like you can just TP out. Queen can't stop you.
Yeah. Sind. Do they know he's there?
Oh, they do now.
Oh, Sind. Yeah. Oh, that's not going to work.
It was a nice idea.
It was. Just face the trees. Don't look at them TP out.
If you can't see them, they're not there, Owen. That's how it works.
Exactly. Oh, money for loadouts. He clears the tap. He's now got 3k. I guess you do what was it? Blink Echo Saber BKB. Does he have to get that this game? Gee.
Nah, not a chance. See, this is why Blink Maelstrom is just so much more helpful. Because in that situation, Koifa gets a Blink Shackle, that hero's dead. Like, Aegis is eaten. Maybe you even get the kill after the fact too, because it sets up for a free grip and a free roll in. You're gonna lose Era here as well.
And he just had enough money for the relic.
Feels bad. 300 gold down the drain.
Ravage blown mid as they look for the lockdown onto Koifa with the Doom as well. This is going to be another big kill if they can find it. Yapzor looking to save him. No, it's not going to be enough, and in fact, Yapzor himself could be in trouble. The lower down's turning up, and they find themselves a third. Hex onto lower downs. They've got the wards down as well with the vacuum. The wall onto 2. Crimson Guard coming through here, but it doesn't matter. They've lost the low hard dance. Can No Fear actually find himself anything more? They just don't have the damage to do so, so they lose the low hard dance for that one. Still, it's a good trade for VP, but not a totally clean one. I will clean out the wards. And it is VP with the lead, but if Era does get that Radiance, which he was so close to doing so.
Well, he was close to the Relic.
He was close to the Relic, yeah.
I wonder in that situation if it's better to just buy the recipe before you die. Because it does save 300 gold, because he lost about that much from his death.
But then if you buy the Relic and then you die again, sorry, if you buy the recipe then you die again before you get the Relic.
Yeah, that's true. It can be very detrimental.
G. Going for that BKB next as well by the looks of it.
Yeah. And No Fear is going to be the one also going for the Hood.
Yeah.
It's not going to be the Doom. Or sorry, it's not going to be the Tide. The Doom is buying the Hood. It's been a long day, Owen.
It has.
Yeah.
The items, many different ones.
Yeah, lots of items, different costs, different effects, different heroes, abilities. Dota 2. That's what we're talking about.
And it feels like as well the teams are playing, kind of relevant to the time of day it is. They are.
I mean, honestly, they're playing very well given
they are
how late it is. Like,
and considering No Diggity played the first series of the day.
Yes. And then they actually had to sit around and wait for their next series all day.
Yeah, they were watching all the games. They certainly watched VP's series earlier.
Yep.
And
still landing those Vac Earth Spirit combos like it ain't no thing.
I mean, Agnem's Chrysalis, we see, Koifa does get the lockdown. He certainly dishes out the damage. You're killing anyone with a shackle. Maybe even the Tide at a push if you get a +1 in there.
This is like the build that everyone did 2 patches ago.
Radiant's turret has been killed.
Oh, gee, if that had the relic on, I would have had a heart attack for error. Yoku getting himself in position, has got the Ravage, flies through with the Sonic Wave, and Quake's been bursted down. BKB from Juicy's ready to move in for more on the back lines. They found themselves the Earth Spirit. Kezi gets taken down by Yoku. Double kill for the Tide. Sinner looking for the TP. How's he going to make it? He is. But this time it's VP finding 3 kills. They lose nothing in return. And that Serpent Wards and Wall dropped to no avail for the side of No Diggity.
So it's becoming more apparent to me why you pick like the Tide Hunter and why you pick the Doom together when you know the Shadow Shaman's going to be coming out. Simply put, it's because they just don't give a shit about Serpent Wards. They just stand there and they just take the damage and like, yeah, whatever, we got a Crimson Guard on somebody, we got a tremendous amount of regen, we have Sven with Warcry. Like, the wards just don't matter. So when you have this greedy support whose primary objective is to push towers and make it so team fights taken around your wards are always going to be in your favor, and you just have these 3 cores that all get a ton of farm out of their lane, and they don't care about that greedy support, then what does the hero really bring to the table? I think that VP have showcased already that they have the answer to the Shadow Shaman. It's kind of just like, we pick heroes that are naturally durable, can fight 5 versus 5, and also win their lanes while being able to do all of those things.
Yeah, it does feel like the draft's just smart for VP, and at the same time, it's down to error this game. You know, he's going to have that Radiance.
Dude, this is such a hard game to carry as a Spectre.
But it's just, is the damage enough against the lineup with Greaves? I don't know.
Nah, dude, it's actually so hard for Spectre to carry this game. Like,
where's your squishy backliners?
They don't exist.
Yeah.
They're not there. Like, there's BKB and the Queen, who is potentially one of the squishier heroes on this lineup.
And G with this invis. I mean, this is going to set something big up. Ooh, roll that in time. What are we looking like on the Ravage cooldown? How long is that? Okay, 30 seconds still.
Yep.
And I mean, I think if you're VP, you don't fight without the Ravage and the Sonic Wave, do you? You are waiting. No need to rush it.
Yeah, I mean, you don't have to rush it, but at the same time, they could probably play a little bit reckless. Just because, you know, the Sven is still really far ahead of the Spectre. Like, there's a 5k net worth difference. That's an item and a half, pretty much, at this stage in the game. I think they probably just wait for the next Roche, secure that, maybe try to get the top tier 2, I suppose, or maybe even just try to siege high ground, force them to use some abilities, and then, you know, back off, constrict the map. It is unbelievably scary right now for No Diggity. And I really think that the Spectre pick is kind of backfiring. And it's just ironic to me that the game that they picked Sven against VP and they won with it, because it's pretty much the same matchup for Spectre, although it could even be a little bit worse because there is no squishy backline for these heroes to get onto. Like, usually Spectre team fights by jumping on a hero like a support and just killing it before it's able to do anything in a fight, or using it to, you know, pick somebody off on the map. But VP's lineup doesn't function that way. They don't split. They just play as 5. And because they got so much out of their lanes, they don't really have to worry about like this kind of efficient farming thing because they just have the map control already.
And talking about control, VP, they're going to have a good control over the game.
They're too late.
They get Aegis, yeah. Diggity is trying to get themselves over. They want to try and make a play, but it's, too late.
Run away, boys. This isn't the fight anymore.
Aegis on G.
Dude, this Earth Spirit is level 8.
28 minutes in there. Oh, G. Oh,
Nice
that's
shackle.
Shackle! That's Shackle, though! He's got an Aegis, he's fine. Doom onto Error. Can they chase this man down? Yoku's starting to move in. They'll get into position for Cinderin. Oh, the Storm Hammer onto 2. Error's gone. Quakefa running away with a Sonic Wave from G to finish him off. Double kill for the Quap. Yaptor looking for the rollout. But just like that, you said it was not the fight for No Diggity, and you weren't wrong, Andy.
I mean, if that had been any other hero carrying the Aegis and they killed G right away, then maybe that fight, VP back off, you know, but they kill the one hero that's going to respawn anyway. Kazu should be fine here. Yeah, he's just going to walk it off. He's got the Blink Dagger too. No TP. He's going to have to go to the side shop to pick that up. I don't know. I do feel, after watching how this played out, that VP just had a slightly better draft. Like, they don't have anything to punish their heroes at all. And the Wind Ranger build too, I mean, I don't think it was necessarily game losing, but I don't think it put them in a situation where they had any versatility with their heroes. Like, they didn't emphasize going for any sort of catch. So VP were just able to farm on all of their heroes.
No, he's stopping this.
Radiant's bottom tower
No
is
horn.
under attack.
Shackle might just do it. No, FNG's with the swap. It's looking very scary. They've got Ravage still up if VP want to fight. Aloha Dance has the God Strength. He can just afford to move in. Frontline this Kezu with a vacuum onto 2. The Polar Smash following him, but the Crimson Guard's out, and this, you just can't follow this route.
He just takes no damage.
Radiant's middle tower has fallen.
I mean, Sven's gonna have a Satanic when the courier gets there, right? So saving for it right now. I don't know, Owen.
I mean, it feels like what VP just kind of teasing. They head in, they head back, and then they head in. Like,
they don't have to take the risk either. If they really want to, they can just back off.
Yeah.
There's no rush.
I guess they're waiting for Crimson and Pike cooldowns.
Yeah, of course. But I'm just saying, like, if they ultimately decided to go just hit creeps, that would also be fine.
Tide's got 4K gold.
It's honestly the richest Tide Hunter that I've seen
He
in a
has
while.
had such a beautiful game, Yoku. I think we're really seeing just VP. They had that period where they wanted to put people in different roles, but now when they resort back to this, Aloha Dance carry, FNG back on support, Yoku on the offlane, it's beautiful. And look, just like that, bringing in on Terra, it's a nice vacuum combo, but this time with the Sven gone, with the Spectre gone, where's your follow through? And G, he's just hitting these huge sonic waves. There's a buyback from Kezu, but they've already lost 2 without buyback available, and VP are just going to move on to the racks, and they'll clear out the mid lane. No, Diggity, where's the plan? Where's the execution? It's just not there at the moment, and VP are moving in for more. How are you stopping it? There's a stage, and Aloha Dodge jumps in with the Storm Hammer onto 2. In comes Yoku with the Ravage. Earth Spirit and Kezu getting beaten down. It's a dieback on your Dark Seer.
Radiant structures are fortified.
And this, it's a sad way to go out as Diggity. They have shown us
Radiant's bottom
some very, very impressive performances at this LAN. But VP, they've just stepped up their game absolutely massively.
Radiant's bottom barracks has fallen.
I don't know, man. We could be seeing the first elimination here at the LAN Finals of DreamLeague Season 5 at the hands of VP.
Yeah.
No Diggity, maybe getting a little bit drafted into a corner this game.
It's a gold lead of about 30,000.
It ain't small.
I mean,
is what we're
VP
saying.
are just they're in another league this game.
I don't know. I just really feel like they had a really good idea with the Shadow Shaman, and they had a pretty good amount of success with it. And then VP just figured out how to deal with it. It's like, okay, you picked that Spectre and Shadow Shaman together. That just might have been a little bit too greedy.
Right.
That's a
Heart
refresher.
on Sven.
Oh, we got Heart instead of
Refresher on
Satanic, okay.
Yoku.
Yeah, you're actually just not killing any of these heroes anymore. There's just no way. 3,600 health, 21 armor before Warcry is even applied.
And Yoku's not going to die at all this game. It's just been a brilliant Tide Hunt again. The pick was genius. And it's just... All right, Cinneren on the run, but gets swapped in. Kezu with the vacuum, wall onto 3. They'll follow through with the Earth Spirit combo. G's falling low, but he gets the BKB out here in the midst with the Ravage coming through there. The first one, Cinneren, he's got 2. 3 as the Sonic Wave flies through. Yapsa and Quoik for the only 2 left alive. And GG is called.
Radiant's top tower
Game 2, no Diggity, they showed us their finest performances, but VP at the end of the day and as a series whole, they were just a more reliable team in that game, finishing with about a 35,000 net worth lead. It really was a great game, and again, the Tide Hunter lane was immaculate. Yoku, this is the VP I remember.
Yeah, for sure.
It really is.
It felt like a lot of them were kind of in their comfort zone. They also drafted their lanes to be pretty successful.
Yeah.
Like middle lane was probably the closest one in terms of like CS and overall like impact in the game. And then G was able to pull ahead solely by virtue of the rest of his lanes doing very well. Like top struggled a bit, then No Fear transitioned over after he gave, you know, Yoku the start that he needed in the lane as Tide to make sure that he's never going to die. And once he gets ahead in that lane, there's no coming back from it. Like, you need to rotate either Yapster over, or maybe even just bring the Darkseer for an Ion Shell and just kill the freaking Tidehunter. But they left him alone for so long.
Yeah.
11 minutes in, he has Arcane's mech. The safe lane tier 1's dead. And at that point, it's already an uphill struggle, because that Spectre got nothing out of his lane in comparison to what the Sven got.
He didn't. I mean, he got the Radiance, but it was just a little too little, a little too late.
Yeah.
It was a similar kind of story that we've seen with the games where Quaifa plays in Naga. You know, he does get the Radiance, and Quaifa, even in those games, he gets the Radiance sooner, but still, taking it late against teams like VP who are going to be able to fight like this, it's scary. And as you said, maybe it's down to the draft, maybe just the matchup of the Spectres fan. It's a very risky game to try and pull it into.
Yeah, I think the only reason I think it was an outdraft is because they have to commit too many resources to killing Yoku. And I think the Spectre...
And they couldn't.
It was a really big problem because of that. The Spectre just cannot deal with Tide.
And G, of course, as well, on the Quap. Yeah. I mean, it's one of his classics. It's one of his best heroes. No doubt about it. And in that game, we're seeing exactly why. Each and every time, turning up with the Sonic Waves. What a game. What a day. What a series.
What a day. 12 Dota games.
We have had to say goodbye, of course, to No Diggity.
Yep.
It was nice to see them here. But they're obviously going on to... I'm sure they'll be in something else. We'll see more of Sin's team. I'm sure we will. Because these guys have shown us that they can turn up, they can give us a performance, and they can entertain the crowds. You know,
yeah.
We're always seeing Sin's wonderful mind being expressed on the battlefield of Dota 2, and it's a pleasure to watch. But that last game was a pleasure for VP. Absolutely storming through that one. They'll take the series, they move forward, and we are going to go, of course, back to the panel. No ad break, no adverts, straight